You're listening to Soul Growth with me, Jade Stoner. Here we go beyond performance and surface level success and return to your true source of power, you. When you come home to yourself, when you allow your soul to lead, you access a depth of peace, safety and self-trust that success alone was never meant to fulfill, without losing your edge, ambition or vision. You get to live a life that feels as eternally rich as it looks outwardly impressive, and it begins within you. Hello and welcome back to Soul Growth. I hope that you've had an amazing start to the year. I'm aware that it's February right now, but it is the first opportunity that I'm speaking to you. So first opportunity to say happy 2025. And I hope your year has got off to a great start. And however you have chosen to start the new year, whether that is going full steam ahead and doing all of the new year, new me and all of that kind of stuff, that's amazing. And if you are going slow and just taking it one step at a time and allowing yourself to ease into the year, then that's great too. You know, you do you. If you've been around here for a while, you'll already know that I am not about the whole New Year hype. In fact, I don't even believe that it is New Year. And I know that January being the start of the new year was something that was created hundreds of years ago. And actually prior to that, much of civilization celebrated the new year at different times. So a lot would celebrate New Year in March when spring happens and everything is starting to come back to life after that winter hibernation. And that's how I like to celebrate my new year. That makes a lot more sense to me. But more than it making sense to me, it's what feels right for me. In January, I'm still feeling like I want to go slow. And in previous years, when I felt like I wanted to go slow, but I was still on the whole New Year hype because, you know, I believe that's what you're supposed to do. It just felt like an uphill battle and a struggle of trying to force myself to go out and be loud and show up and do all of the things when my body just wanted to rest and go slowly. And over the past few years, I've allowed myself to just fully accept and embrace that. It's easier said than done at times, particularly as I am a January baby. So over the years, I would be going slow and then I'd feel like I have to rip myself out of my cocoon, go celebrate my birthday and then go hide again. And last year, so in 2024, I was actually like, this doesn't make any fucking sense either. I was like, why? It's my birthday. Why am I hyping myself up to do something if I don't really want to do it? And so I didn't do anything. Last year, the theme of my birthday was peace, and all I wanted to do was just see where the day takes me. And I had the most beautiful, peaceful day. And I went for a walk, spent a lot of time in nature, had some really nice food, had some Prosecco, watched TV, and it just felt really nice. This year, the theme, the vibe that my soul was calling me to was fun. So even though I was still in kind of a hibernation phase, I'd say this year's been more of an active hibernation. Although this is my first podcast for this year, first podcast episode for this year, there's been lots going on behind the scenes, but I've just allowed myself to go slowly, gently, and not push myself too far. And with my birthday, as I shared, my soul was just calling for fun. So I went out and I went and had so much fun with my friends and I loved it. And then I was perfectly happy to come back and just go slow again. So there's been lots going on behind the scenes, but for me, it's been, like I said, active hibernation. And that feels really good for me. And however you've chosen to start this year, the bottom line is to listen to your inner voice and your body and trust it. Not every January is going to look the same for you. It's going to depend on what season of your life you're in, where you're at, what's going on for you, what your goals are, what you want to achieve in the year ahead. And so it's giving yourself that grace and that space to allow the start of your year to unfold in whatever way you're being guided to allow it to unfold, rather than trying to force it and squash it into this box. It's like putting that square peg in a round hole, trying to ram it in, just because there is a whole industry set up for telling you that it's January, it's go time. Buy this thing, join this health and wellness thing, start this healthy eating, whatever. And it's like, if that's what you want to do and that's what feels right for you in your soul, then again, you do you. But stop being influenced and controlled by and led by external noise and all of that kind of stuff that, whilst it may be aligned for you, it may also not be. So wherever you're at with your new year, whether you're going fast or going slow, what I do know for sure is that you've been thinking about new beginnings, and that you've probably set some intentions, whether right now they're just in your head, or whether you wrote them down, or whether you created a whole vision board, or you've mapped out every single month and quarter of your year. The bottom line is there are some intentions there. There are some things that you want to be and do and have and create in 2025. And you may have shared some stuff on social media that declared, 2025 smells like real love, money, success, whatever it is for you. And I love all of that for you. And now it's time for a dose of real talk served with a side of love. Here's the thing. Just because the calendar changed and you've declared that 2025 smells like whatever flavor it is that you want 2025 to smell like, it doesn't mean that you're going to get those things just because it's a new year. The calendar, the clock, it's not a magic wand. It doesn't mean that things are just going to fall into your lap because you've declared it. And I know that with the increasing rise of manifestation principles and spirituality becoming more and more mainstream, especially on social media, it can seem that way. Some people literally sell it to you in that way. Do this 3-step thing, buy my program, buy this book, do this, do that, and then you're going to get everything you want. But that way of thinking is only going to set you up for disappointment and frustration. So the truth is that you have got to do the work, the real work. And that doesn't mean just listening to podcasts and watching TikTok videos and reading some books. Shit, if it was that easy, I would have been living my bestest, biggest, loudest, proudest, happiest life way back when. And truthfully, you probably would have been too, right? Let's be honest, probably the intentions that you've set for yourself this year are things that you've wanted and been aiming for last year or the year before that or even longer. And so the point that I'm making in all of this is that there's more to calling in the things that you want into your life and having the life that you want, than just declaring it and just believing that just because it's a new year, that it's all just going to magically come to you. Things have got to change inside of you first. So if you're not getting what you want out of your life right now, there's a reason for it. And that reason is connected to your inner game. How you think, your patterns of behavior, your energy set point, what you believe to be true at an unconscious level, how your nervous system is wired and programmed, what past traumas you're carrying with you. All of these things make up your inner game, and your inner game is responsible for 80% of what shows up in your life. But where we get stuck is that we haven't been taught this. We're taught to focus on the how, the hustle, the strategy, trying to fix something in your external world in order to get what it is that you want. And with that comes controlling, or more accurately, trying to control. And all of this shit is what's keeping you stuck and frustrated and pissed off at life. And it's why all of your past efforts to change things in your life haven't been successful. Because what shows up in your physical world is the result of what's going on inside of you. The things that you're aware of, and moreover, the things that you're often not aware of. The strategies and the how-tos of life are only 20% of the equation. So trying to change your life by focusing on the hows and the whats, that 20% is futile. And it's what's keeping you where you are. So it's time to flip the script. It's time for you to change that so you can get some different results in your life. So if you're truly ready to change and to make this year the one where you start to see the results that you truly want show up in your world, it's time to go within. Because everything that shows up in your life, in your external, is a mirror of what's going on inside of you at that unconscious level. The thoughts, the beliefs, the memories, the traumas, the baggage, all of that stuff. It's time to heal your relationship to that stuff. And it's time for you to seriously work on your inner game, your mental, spiritual, emotional, because this is what creates your outer game. And when you start healing all of that stuff at deep levels, making peace with your past, accept why you are where you are, and commit to making the change, and investing in the support to make all that happen, to getting your mind and your body and your energy on the same page, that's when you're going to start to see the results you truly desire show up in your life. So 2025 alone won't change your life, but who you choose to become will. Right now, there is a version of you that exists. A version of you that is already where you want to be, living the life you're dreaming of having, that you really dream of having, like the one that you see in the privacy of your own mind, that whispers to you when you allow yourself to slow down and be still and be quiet and not distracting yourself with way too many things, doing too much. The vision that you may have been shown in meditation or when you're dozing off to sleep. That version of you, that highest version of you, is calling to you. And a really powerful way to tap into that version of you is by shifting your identity, how you see yourself. The truth is, if you were already that next level version of yourself, how you show up to do life right now, personally and professionally, there are some things, possibly a lot of things, that would be very different. Things you're tolerating in your life right now, that higher level version of you wouldn't. Things that you wouldn't be doing as that higher level version of yourself, but right now you are. And when you start to shift your identity in this way, it changes the way you show up for yourself, your desires in your life, and it puts you in alignment with that life that you're dreaming of. You become an energetic match for it, and it will collapse the time that it takes for you to go from where you are right now in your life to where you truly want to be. And this isn't about bypassing the inner game work. You know, you're still going to have to confront the parts of you that you've tried to push away, that you think that you've forgotten about and locked away. You're still going to have to heal and forgive and let go and change. But when you do it from the elevated identity of yourself, it becomes a whole lot easier. In fact, you're going to want to do the work. You're going to actively be looking at who can I work with and what can I do to help me shift my inner game to bring me the outer game results that I desire. Because you start to realize and recognize that this other version of you didn't get to where they are without shedding the shit that doesn't serve them, that was holding them back. And that may be habits, people, situations, ways of thinking, anything that was keeping them stuck, anything that was in the way of who they were and who they wanted to be, the life they had and the life they wanted. They knew that they had to let that shit go. You realize that they've invested in themselves to get the support they needed. And I'm not talking about investing in the traditional sense, like putting your money into gold, silver, property, stock, shares, Veblen goods, crypto, whatever the thing is. I'm talking about investing in the greatest asset in their life, which they know to be themselves. Invested in the support they need, the coaches, the mentors, the education, putting themselves in the spaces that help them identify at that higher level. They invest in the resources that they needed to help them to see their blind spots, because they recognize that by working with these people, they would collapse the time it took them to real life their dreams. And in becoming the person who could not only make it all happen, but could also help them to hold on to their desires when they get them, and go even further than they had allowed themselves to dream of and think of. Creating this next level version of you, it gets to be really fun. It's going to allow you to see things in a way that maybe you haven't before. It's going to change your energy and your thinking and how you show up for yourself in your life. And it's therefore going to change the results that you get in your life. You're going to start building the habits and the routines and the mindset and the identity of the man or the woman that you want to become. And this isn't about forcing yourself to be different or acting a different way. This is about a gentle unraveling and unfolding. It's going to require discipline, 100%. And there are days and times that you're not going to want to do it. There are times that you're going to forget to do it. And that's all okay. It's about keeping on going and getting up and creating that version of you bit by bit. Again, it's not about forcing. If you think back into the past, there's probably things that you've tried to force. I know I have. And how did that work out for you? I don't need to use my psychic skills to know the answer is not very well. And creating this new identity for yourself isn't about being fake or pretending to be something or someone you're not. This is about incremental shifts, small shifts that change how you show up. Imagine it's like an artist chiseling a large piece of stone or a crystal and chiseling it bit by bit into a sculpted, beautiful work of art. With every time you shift what you're thinking and how you show up, you're chiseling away and defining and redefining parts of who you are and how you show up in life. And each chisel, each shift moves you closer and closer to the life that your soul is calling you to. So how do you start to access this part of you? I invite you to spend some time to really allow yourself the space to tap into that version of you. And a really great way of doing that is to spend 5 or 10 or 20 or however long works for you in meditation. Just close your eyes with the intent and hold the intention of connecting to this upgraded identity of yourself. And just see what comes up for you when you're in that closed eye state. Ask yourself, how does he or she treat themselves? What do they believe to be true about themselves? How do they dress? Where do they live? Is it in another part of the world? What kind of relationship are they in? What does their career look like? Some other questions to consider, and these are really great ones to journal on. What must they have in their life? Because there are things that are non-negotiables for that next level version of you, things that they must have. The opposite, what must they not have? There are things in their life that they will not tolerate, that higher level version of you does not tolerate. What do they believe to be true about themselves? How do they show up in their life? What do they do in their life that you're currently not doing? What kind of relationships do they have in their life? How do they treat themselves? As you start to get the answer to these questions, you get to see the gap between the reality of the life you're living right now compared to where they are. And with that, you have a direction to start moving in. You've got like a map, and you get to see the shifts that you can take and the ones you need to make to move you closer to align with that version of you and the life that you're creating for yourself. And you get to look at and ask yourself how you can embody more of that energy into your life right now. Your identity, who you choose to be, to become, impacts every single area of your life. And this doesn't mean changing everything now all at once. If you try to do that, it's very highly likely you're going to set off your protection mechanisms and you're going to stop. Your mind's going to start to tell you this stuff is bullshit. We don't need this. We're happy where we are now, even though you know you're bloody not. And you're going to trip yourself up. So don't do that. This is about shifting things bit by bit. And when you understand who this next level version of you is, how they think, what they believe, how they live, you're going to find yourself starting to think, believe, behave, and show up to your life very differently. And this is the power play in this work. So, if the next level version of you has children, and this is something that you're moving towards, you're going to start to make lifestyle shifts. For example, if you're currently abusing your body frequently by eating junk food, drinking way more alcohol than you know you should or that you can even handle, and sleeping with anyone who'll say yes, you're going to start reconsidering who has access to your body and tweaking your behavior and start prepping your body to create those future babies. You'll start respecting your body and yourself more. If that next level version of you isn't wearing a mask, hiding their true feelings, pretending to be okay all of the time just to keep the peace, pretending to be okay even when you're not. If they're not people pleasing, ignoring their own inner voice, and you are right now, you get to look at and ask yourself how to start shifting into a more authentic and true experience of your life. And this could be as simple as starting to speak up instead of staying quiet and tolerating the bullshit that you're experiencing. It could be saying no more often to the things that you don't really want to do, but you're uncomfortable saying no. Those things that you know in your soul are not right for you. And if you currently have people in your life that you know are only there because of what they can get from you and the benefits of being in your life, and not because they genuinely check for you, would that next level version of you be tolerating those kind of relationships? From these examples, you can start to see how this works and why it's so powerful, and you'll find yourself questioning things more. You're going to shift what you accept and what you don't in your life, who you allow yourself to spend time with and be around, and start showing up in your life for you in a more empowering way. It helps you to look up and rise above the here and now of your life, and you get to look at the bigger picture and make decisions from a higher vantage point. And it will help you approach the challenging things in your life from a more empowered way, because you get to ask yourself, how would this next level version of me deal with this situation? When you're faced with something that you're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what's right, what's wrong. Pause. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, how would this next level version of me, this new identity version of me, deal with this situation? And see what comes up. If it helps you, you can give this new identity version of you a name. It could be as simple as your name with a little bit of a kick to it, a little bit of chewed to it, you know? I was watching Harlem recently, and Quinn, one of the characters, was going through some stuff. And she was, feeling a bit down on herself, not knowing how to deal with shit. And someone reminded her, you are Quinn motherfucking Joseph. And you could visibly see her energy shift. And she said, yes, I am Quinn motherfucking Joseph. And that shift in her psyche changed things for her. So you could become your name, motherfucking surname. Play with it. Like I shared earlier, this gets to be fun and there are no rules. So if name, motherfucking surname works for you, do that. If it's name, fucking surname, play with that. If it's a complete different name, play with that. And having fun with it doesn't negate the power of this exercise. It just gets to be a joyful experience. You are literally crafting and creating that next level version of you. Before I close out, I just want to reiterate that doing this work isn't about being fake. It's about embodying a version of you that already exists somewhere in the quantum physics understanding of life. You may have heard of quantum leaps before, someone having a quantum leap. Well, these happen when you're able to embody that next level version of yourself, and this episode has given you some solid starting points. And after you start the ball rolling with this exploration of yourself, you'll find through the days and the months that follow as you're moving through life and just doing your thing and experiencing different situations, more and more insight and guidance will start to come to you. You're going to hear your inner voice speaking to you and giving you more guidance and direction on how better to embody this next level identity version of you, how to become that version of you. So pay attention and keep adding to and refining your vision of who you are growing into. This is about becoming. It's about you becoming, bit by bit, day by day, the version of you who is a vibrational and energetic match for everything that you know in your soul is yours to collect. It's you now, but 10x. Try it. See how things shift for you. What have you got to lose? I will see you in the next episode. Big love as always. Mwah. Thank you for joining me on Soul Growth. There's something in this episode that was meant for you to hear. Whatever it activated within you, trust it, act on it. And remember, it's all soul growth.